This is my CLI project. I'm going to share my screen. So in my CLI project, I have the CLI class, an API class, team class, which is for the objects. And then I have my require class, which requires HTTP party, which allows me to call my API to get the information I need. The pry for binding.pry if I needed to test out some code. And then a require relative, which is requiring all the Ruby files. This is my executable file, which is requiring my library and then requiring the NBA folder. To start the program, this executable file calls on the CLI class and then starts a new one, instantiates, and then uses the call method within the CLI class. So to start, I have my API, my class API, defined a method called self.team. So when I need to call this class, I can use api.teams, as you'll see later on. Using HTTP party, I get my API website, create a new variable here using what I got from my API website, and then going through the hashes to get the list of teams that I need. And then I create another object here, or variable here, which allows me to collect the names of the teams and then creates and instantiates new objects based on those teams. Which leads me to my object class, which is the team class here. Have an adder accessor for name, location, record, win percentage, and playoff seed. And I have an add@all class method here with that's set to an array so that I can basically call on team.all and show a list of all the objects that were instantiated. So whenever an object is instantiated, it's instantiated with a name, location, a record, win, percentage, and playoff seed. And it's using the API class and going through each of the hashes within that API class in the API to find the value that I need to return the correct information. Which leads me to the CLI class, which is what is being called an executable file. So it starts off cli.new.call. Here's the call method. In call, we are creating our objects using the API in teams, which then lets us show a welcome screen with a message, and then a list of the teams, and then the user menu. The user menu basically lets the user select a number based on the team that they want to look at, and then shows them a list of the information. I used these lines here just to make it look somewhat more legible and easier to the eye to separate the information. The first thing that a user will see will be the team name, which goes from team.all, which is the object.all, and then from the object uses the index to go through each team and calls on the information correctly with .name or .location for each team. And each team will be pretty much the same thing going all the way through up until team 25. The welcome message is here. It outputs welcome to the NBA. Please select the team for more information. My list is here. When a user types list, this is what is being called. List will show the display team list method, which is iterating through all the team objects with an index number. And I use index 1 here because each index is originally starting with the number 0. So the first team would be index 0, second team index 1. This allows me to then go through each team, call its name, and then put the number 1 here instead of starting with index 0 and then team 1 Atlanta Hawks. So to show you an example, I will go to my list here, start my file by ./bin/MBA25, enter. This is the start of my program. This is what each user will see, list of the teams, and then please select the team. So like I said, I'll call it Team 1, Atlanta Hawks. They'll show me the team name, location, wins, losses, the win percentage, playoff seed. And I'll select another random team, Cleveland Cavaliers, Team 5. This also repeats the list so that when a user wants to select another team by the number, they don't have to exit out of the program completely and start over. They'll see the list of teams immediately and then can easily select another team as so. And when the user is done, they can type exit, which will close out the program. And that is my CLI program project.